if we're gonna say who the poster child for body positivity, you may disagree with me. I would say Lizzo.
Yeah.
As far as embracing who you are, using what you got. Did you see the one of her that she was going up into the airplane?
Yeah, I love her.
So she goes up to the airplane and her butt's just out there.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing covering it, just butt's out there
Yeah.
and she's loving it. And you read the comments, like, first of all, she's followed by millions and millions of people, right? She's world famous.
Yeah.
She's absolutely embraced who she is. And, as far as from her career, as far as singing, as far as acting, modeling, etc., I would say she literally would be the poster child in the States.
For sure.
But on that token, I think to myself, take her versus, let's say, Kate Moss. Back when I was growing up, it was Kate Moss, and people still don't know who Kate Moss is. Each of they are, as different as it gets, and they each have their pressures to maintain who they are.
Right.
If Lizzo went, and exactly like you thought, I was thinking to myself, if Lizzo went and said, you know what, I'm going to lose a bunch of weight, I'm going to drop 60 pounds, 80 pounds, whatever it is, and she turns into Kate Moss tomorrow, I think a lot of people would say she's a fraud. She was spreading all this body positivity, and now it's gone. And it's a shame that all of a sudden now you have to be in one realm because you're spreading a message where the message could be, I could be anything, literally, And that's one of the things that you always say in your body positivity. It's not the shape of the body.
Yeah.
It's your mindset and your relationship with your body.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, again, going back to, people thinking that they might not be able to relate to my content because they might not be a 23-year-old girl in a body that looks like mine. Body acceptance or body positivity or whatever you want to use, it's not only your physical body. It could be your mental, emotional, it could be in a disabled body. So it really does fit for anybody, and we all have something about us that we don't like. I just talk about the things that I personally don't like about myself, but you might have something else. So it really is a great niche to look at other hashtags or other influencers or people like Lizzo, because it just shows you that you can live a life that you do accept yourself or like yourself. And I love Lizzo so much, and she actually has a new TV show. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
And she's casting backup dancers for her tour, and she only casts plus size women, and it's amazing. And I just think what she's doing is incredible. And she's hilarious. And it actually did happen to her during COVID. She went on a juice cleanse and turned vegan, and people started freaking out because apparently if you go on a juice cleanse or you turn vegan, you want to lose weight. People equate those two things. Yes. And I get it because she's always preached anti-diet and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, if someone wants to drink green juice or be vegan, let them live. She didn't I don't know, she didn't wilt away, and she also, that's her life, and she's still promoting amazing things.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you did see her as a role model, as far as in the body positivity movement. So you are, I mean, if you generally, if you're into confident people, somebody that embraces themselves and says, don't worry about your body shape, do your thing, that's Lizzo in my mind.
Yeah.
Where I struggle, from myself, for example, and everybody's different. Everybody's very, very different. I'll put that out there right away. Just because one person's experience is one end doesn't mean the other people are going to have that. When I made my decision to drop my weight, it was purely health. It was the doctor coming and saying, you're going to start going on cholesterol meds if you don't go and fix this situation. And that's one of the things I struggle with from a health perspective versus body positivity is when I see people when they're choosing, I'm embracing myself, I don't care. But then, as far as from the health standpoint of it, diabetes and what can happen to cholesterol and things that people can cause themselves, premature aging, when people don't look after themselves. But then, we started this whole thing off, you're at the gym, you're doing it, you're putting in your work, and you're eating well. And so, people have this image that if you're going to be going to the gym and eating well, it's automatically going to look like this or it's going to look like that, right? Doesn't have to be.
Yeah, that's my issue with it is people automatically judge. And I've had a lot of comments that I promote obesity, and I'm just where? Prove to me that I do. I'm a nutritionist who does care a lot about the food and the quality, but I also will eat French fries and a milkshake because I'm a human. And I do go to the gym all the time, and I promote healthy lifestyle, which is balanced. Healthy lifestyle is not eating chicken and broccoli and going to the gym every day. It's not healthy, as we both know. You can count your macros and you can lift 100 pounds and do whatever, but if you're not living life, then your stress is probably what's aging you, not, the extra 10 pounds on your waist. So I think, of course, there are things to be considered with obesity, like health problems. I think it's very naive to say that no matter how large you are, health doesn't matter. I think it does, of course. But I also think that if somebody does want to live in a body that is larger or smaller or whatever, that's their prerogative. You know, we all know the consequences of living in our bodies, and we all feel a certain way every day. And if you feel sluggish every day and you're okay with that, then that's you. And if you don't want to feel like that, then, you know, there's ways to fix that. But I think it's just like the judgment that kills me. Like random people will judge you for eating McDonald's if you're in a larger body, but then in a smaller body, it's like, oh yeah, go you. Like you might as well live your life and enjoy, you know? So there's always going to be judgment and things
Absolutely.
like that.
I can tell you it's also, there's the idea of extremes. You know, I can tell you when I was at my most obese state, you know, my lunch every day was a Philly cheesesteak sandwich, a heaping poutine, and unlimited Sprite. That was my lunch every day for about a year.
Right.
And that definitely would cause that,
For sure.
you know, no question about it. But where people, you know, people have to understand, you know, it's very easy to judge other people. But until you live in their shoes, where like, two people can sit and eat the same meals day by day, go to the gym, do the same workouts, and their bodies react differently.
For sure.
I can't tell you times, going in yoga, people are saying, you know, how can that person be 300 pounds and doing yoga? Well, they do yoga almost every day. They actually are quite healthy eating, and that's their body frame.
Yeah.
Like, our bodies are all very different.
For sure.
But people automatically equate, if you eat a certain way and you exercise a certain way, your body will automatically translate into this.
Right.
And it's not quite the thing. And probably you can get to a certain state if you go past a certain point. But going to that state where, okay, I have to work out 6 days a week. Like you're saying, I got to eat chicken and broccoli every day for the rest of my life. That's like a death sentence for some people, and they can't do that.
Right.
So, you know, finding that balance at the end of the day, and everybody's got to find their balance. In my mind, if you're healthy, your body's reacting well, and you feel good, then you're not hurting anybody.
For sure.
Then why is it an issue?
Yep, I do agree.
Yeah.
I love that. I think, like I mentioned about the 10 pounds, like if living in a body that's 10 or 20 pounds over your goal weight is going to help you live your life, and like you can eat the ice cream on the weekend with your kids and not feel guilty for it, or you can go out on a date night and like not feel bad about drinking alcohol, then that's where you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be 10 or 20 pounds lighter living in a body where you can only eat X, Y, and Z, and if you eat salt and you gain weight on the scale, then you're stressed. It's like, it's just not a life.
So when people speak to you, and you know, people come to you, like anybody who's a social media influencer, you know, they'll come to you, you have beautiful glowing skin, you're feeling good about yourself, they're saying, I want to look like that, I want to have that glowing skin, I want to feel good. People come to you and tell you, you know, what do you do? What should I do? Do people ask you for tips all the time as far as what you're maintaining yourself as far as for them?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's so easy to like look at someone from the outside and be like, I want to do what you're doing. Yeah. But like you just said, if you do what I'm doing, your body's not going to react the same way that my body reacts. So, I mean, I give people like blanket things, like obviously you should be eating, you know, good quality food and drinking water and exercising, but it's like the boring things that people don't want to hear that are the things that go the longest, like what I just said. You know, like people want like, what kind of matcha should I drink, or what kind of skincare should I do? And I'm like, those aren't really the things that like equate to health. Those are just like the extra fun things. Even like when I put mushroom drops in my coffee, I do those because I personally think there's a benefit, but that doesn't mean that it's like making me any healthier than the next person. So it's like the simple things, you know, good quality produce and lots of it, and water and sunshine and those simple things.
I love those things.
Yeah.
So I tell people there's 4 keys of life. 5 if you want to get to a next level, but 4, exercise, nutrition, sleep, water.
For sure.
You do those 4 things, I think your life will be very good.
Yeah. And
then if you're ready for mindfulness and meditation, then you can go to another realm.
Yeah.
But, you know, listening to what you're saying, you know, you're a nutritionist yourself, so you're helping people with nutrition. You came to VSC, you work with John, I work with Jared, you know, finding those, you know, I find if you're trying to do things on your own, especially when you're a novice, have no idea, you're almost, you know, doomed to fail. Like that's just, there's no way around that, especially when you don't have the training in it and understanding. If you want to get into the gym, you want to go to yoga, getting personal training, going into group classes, whatever you got to do to be active, go for it. You know, speak to people. Nutrition, you know, go speak to Raquel, find out, you know, what I can incorporate to my food.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is not, again, going in, I got to gain a bunch of weight or I got to lose a bunch of weight. It's how do I feel up here?
Exactly.
People don't realize what you're putting in your body food-wise, the training you're doing, it's not necessarily for the physical part, it's making your mind feel amazing. Because I don't know about you, when I'm not training and I'm not eating what makes me happy, I'm not happy.
Of course. Me
Period.
neither.
Yeah.
Yeah. I injured my back like 2 weeks ago and I haven't trained with John in 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to get back, you know? But like back to the nutrition aspect of it, I think it's so important to, if you want to lose weight or whatever your goals are, gain muscle, whatever, that's you. I support it. I think a huge part of nutrition that is missing in a lot of people's lives is food freedom and food guilt and getting that out. So I think a healthy relationship with food is what should come first, because that's what makes you ultimately, you know, feel good about the food you're eating. And if you're constantly stressed, the food that you're eating isn't being digested and absorbed in its most optimal way. So I think back to that, like nutrition, I'm personally not a weight loss nutritionist. I'm a food freedom nutritionist or a body image nutritionist, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think everyone finds their way and what's good for them, and that's it.
Yeah, just find your way. It doesn't have to be one extreme or another.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, find something that your body feels to be happy and your mind seems to be happy.
For sure.
Thank you for enjoying today's episode of the Chosen Life podcast. Go ahead and hit the subscription button below and the notification bell to catch all of our great shows. And remember to contact the Chosen Lawyers when you are ready for your next real estate and commercial transaction. Go to kormans.ca.